After spending years in my dream career as a Royal Marine Commando, I made a whole ton of memories. However, in this video, I'm going to narrow it down and explain just 3 of my most memorable moments for you. So whether you're someone that's actually looking to join the Royal Marines and start your journey as becoming a Royal Marine Commando, or you're just someone that's interested in looking at what they can actually experience once they pass through the training, then this video is for you. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the bell button down below, because I have a whole series dedicated to the Royal Marines, which you'll probably like. Christmas Day 2020, swimming with sharks. Yes, you heard that correctly, swimming with sharks. That is one of the most memorable things that I will remember from my career as a Royal Marine Commando. And I know it's completely different to what you was probably expecting me to say, like shooting a certain weapon system or something like that, but swimming with sharks is definitely super memorable, and I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't in the Royal Marines. So for a period of time, whilst I was serving, I was actually based on a small island called Diego Garcia, which is in the middle of the Indian Ocean, in the middle of nowhere. And because of this, there was a lot of wildlife that I got to see, specifically sea wildlife. Obviously, there's not much snow out there. It's pretty tropical weather the whole year round out there. So what we decided to do was actually don our Santa Claus hats and take the boats out and go for a swim and a snorkel. Now, most of the time we'll get a chance to swim with turtles, which I have done, and other stuff, maybe rays, manta rays, stingrays, stuff like that. But I remember this Christmas because the sharks came out. That might not be your thing personally, but me, I love nature and I love the fact and the thrill of swimming with sharks at that time. So the story goes, we took the boats out, we went snorkeling, we were seeing some fish, etc., etc. Someone shouted shark, so we was all looking around, and basically these black tip sharks were coming, and I could see them at a sort of distance. Usually when you're with a group, because I've been in the water with sharks a couple of times whilst I was based out there, especially the reef sharks, the black tip sharks, they won't come too close because they're just being inquisitive. But as you're with a big group, they sort of see you as a threat, although they are sharks, of course, and they could definitely take a chunk out of you. They'll see you as a bit of a threat and stay at a distance. Now, I was filming the sharks and I was swimming about, and I noticed that they got a bit closer and a bit closer, and they were kind of circling underneath of us, and then they kept getting a bit closer, which I thought was cool, and I was getting good shots of them. And then I turned around and I saw the last flipper of one of the lads that had just got out of the water and back into the boat, which made me realise why they were actually coming so close, because the group of people that I was with had pretty much all gotten out of the water. That's why they were coming closer and closer, because it was basically just me left in the water.
Living life on the edge, goddammit.
So I just basically faced them and then swam backwards. We were swimming with knives, although I don't think me being able to pull a knife out would have ever been quick enough for how fast a shark can actually get to you and take a chunk out of you. But there it is. I obviously got to the boat absolutely fine, lived to tell the tale, and I've swum with sharks on Christmas Day. Number 2, so this is probably more of a Royal Marine type memory that you would be expecting from this sort of video. I joined RTT, which is a recapture tactics team. Without going into too much detail, they are a small knit team which specialises in close quarter combat, CQB. Close quarter combat is the art form of warfare within close quarters, i.e. inside buildings, securing buildings, basically getting out hostages, etc., etc. Ever since doing the small part of CQB in training, which is only like a week long, I absolutely fell in love with it. I loved it much more in comparison to like the woodland sort of fighting. But once I actually passed out and I went to unit, I was lucky enough to get onto an exercise within my troop, which the top 3 people, I think it was, had the opportunity to move over to RTT. There was only about 10 people in the team, and lucky enough, I performed very well on that exercise, so I got that opportunity and joined into RTT. Now, why did I actually love RTT so much? Not only was we doing a lot of practicing with like simulation rounds, taking down buildings and stuff, but we actually got loads and loads of range time. So basically, I mean, we've done so much live firing. We went all over the UK. We went to like indoor police ranges, and we was doing all of these Gucci shoots with different weapons, like doing left-handed shoots, doing right-handed shoots, doing one-handed shoots, all of this sort of stuff, which wouldn't have been opened up if I would have never been in RTT. Also, along the fact that you get the opportunity to go over to America and teach the US Marines how to do CQB. So that is memory number 2. Definitely going to be in my core memories for life. Last but not least, number 3, going into the Arctic Circle to Norway and doing my icebreaker drills and seeing the Northern Lights. They kind of go hand in hand, so I'm going to collate them to one. So doing icebreaking drills, what do I mean by that? Basically, as part of your training, you have to do icebreaker drills where if you were yomping with your team across a lake, for example, and the ice broke, you have to do drills to be able to withstand that shock and that cold and be able to get yourself out and your kit out of that frozen lake. So they simulate that by getting a chainsaw and cutting a big square into the ice, and you basically get pushed into the ice with all of your kit and your skis and stuff on, and you have to basically swim to one end, swim to the other end, just in case you weren't cold enough. Obviously you've gone completely under the water anyway. With your kit, get your kit out first, push all of your kit out, drag yourself to your chest is basically where the ice is, so you're out a little piece using the spikes on your picks, and then you answer some crazy survival questions from the ML until he deems that you've done enough to get out of the ice, and then you get out of the ice. You then roll in the snow, which is meant to absorb any loose water that you've got on yourself. You run over to your captain, salute him, etc., etc. That is something that I would have never have done as a civilian. I wouldn't have ever jumped into a frozen lake water and gone through that before. Yes, it was a bit like, oh my god, this is going to be absolutely horrendous. However, you get a massive endorphin rush. If anyone's ever done cold water training before, they'll know what I mean. So it was actually a very good memory to end with. Plus, that night, the Northern Lights came out like a spectacular show, which again, people pay absolutely thousands to go to places in the Arctic Circle to try and see the Northern Lights, and probably not even see them sometimes. So to then see them going right across the sky is absolutely spectacular. If you've ever thought about joining the Royal Marines, these are some of the things that you could well experience. Now, I'm not saying that you will 100% experience, because my journey is going to be completely different from every other person. Some people might experience some of these things that I've done, some people might experience absolutely none. Drop a comment down below and let me know which one of them memories you would prefer to do. Would you prefer to swim with sharks on Christmas Day? Would you prefer to be a CQB specialist and do multiple different awesome shoots every week? Or get freezing cold in a frozen lake in the Arctic Circle at like -30, but have the opportunity to be able to see the amazing Northern Lights? Which one would you choose? Put it in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want me to put the 3 most worst memories of my Royal Marine career, let me know in the comments down below and I'll make sure that I do it. But until next time, let's make some gains. Boom.